Great Scott!
Are you a sports fan who loves to have a good laugh?
Oh, yeah!
Then you're in the right place.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
Life moves pretty fast.
Patriots win the
Welcome
Super Bowl!
to the Man Cave Chronicles.
Brady has his fifth!
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Man Cave Chronicles podcast, a podcast of talk culture where everyone has a story. My guest this week, everyone remembers him from the 1960s Batman TV show as Robin, Mr. Burt Ward. Burt, how you doing?
Hello, citizen!
What's going on?
Fighting heinous villains wherever they rear their ugly heads.
There you go. There you go. What's new with you?
Well, I'm a very busy person. I go out and I sign a lot of autographs and make appearances. Certainly have done that for many, many years, is signing autographs. People like to ask questions about our TV series, things like that, and very involved with our dog rescue and helping dogs live longer. And so I keep a very busy. I work 7 days a week.
There's nothing wrong with that. It keeps us young.
Yes, well, I tell everybody the first 100 years are the hardest. After that, it's pretty smooth sailing.
What's the most exciting thing that's going on with you right now?
Well, right now is the fact that my wife and I, who after 24 years of rescuing 15,500 dogs, have finally found a way to help our furry friends live twice as long, up to 27 years, and this is our charity. And I like to say that I was the Caped Crusader, and now I'm the Canine Crusader. So we have at all times about 50 dogs in our house, and we created this feeding and care program, which I would invite your listeners to come visit our website, GentleGiantsDogFood.com, and they can read all about it. And they can see we have this new dog food that we put out that, again, we don't take any money from because this is our charity, but that we feed to our dogs. In fact, we feed 600 pounds a day of this dog food. And just Gentle Giants. By the way, it's in Walmarts all across America. We worked out a deal with Walmart. We actually went to them. We said, look, we've got the only dog food in the world that we know of that dogs can live 27 years. And we love dogs. So we're not going to take any salary from this. We're going to basically offer this to you at our cost. Would you please put it in all your stores and make it available to everybody that would like to have their dog live up to 27 years, healthy and active? And they said, hey, this is a great thing. I mean, of course, for them, they want the highest quality to be able to market at the lowest price. So it worked out wonderful. And so now every week, every day, we get calls from people all over the country. They're telling us like, oh, my gosh, I can't believe it. I have a different dog. This dog is so healthy. My older dog is running around playing like a puppy again. What have you done? This is amazing. And we're really, it's funny because in life, we all strive to be successful. But for my wife and I, we actually have more fun right now helping other people and doing things for others than doing for ourselves. So it's a great thing. And so many people who love their dogs now can have them an extra 5 or 10 years longer. Wow. And, I would like to be able to mention our Facebook page because so many people want to write to us and comment. And our Facebook page is called Gentle Giants Dog Food and Products. And people can send photos, they can write, they can ask about feeding and care for their dogs. So, having been a crime fighter in front of the camera, now we're fighting senior age and dogs on the other side of the camera. So and yet at the same time, by the way, I have 2 movies out from Warner Brothers. Most recently, a brand new movie called Batman versus Two-Face, and it's animated with the voice of my dear friend Adam West, who played Batman, and my voice is Robin, and then the voice of the villain Two-Face is none other than William Shatner.
Wow! So
here you have the 2 most iconic TV series in history, Batman and Star Trek, with the actors working together.
That's crazy. How did you? I want to get back to the Batman thing. But how did you decide to do the whole dog rescue thing?
Well, I'll tell you. When my wife and I first lived, we live in this wonderful little town called Norco, California, where it's like the last western town in America, where horses have the right of way over cars, where, this is true Americana. When you drive down the streets, instead of seeing the dotted white lines, we have dotted red, white, and blue lines. I mean, talk about all American apple pie. And we moved here 24 years ago, and we have a beautiful daughter who's now, she's going to be 27. And we decided we'd get her a dog, and we heard about these Great Danes that were being put to sleep in shelters because there was no rescue. And I had said to my wife, Tracy, I said, wait a minute, these big, beautiful, gentle giants, they're so gentle and so loving. We can't let this happen. Let's just, for, a couple of weeks, take a few dogs here. Don't let them die. And then in a couple of weeks, somebody else will take over. Well, guess what? It's been 24 years. We're still waiting for somebody to come rescue us. Yeah. And we've gone from Great Danes to other giant breeds, and we became the largest giant breed dog rescue in the world. And now we even have small dogs. And, in fact, we have 45 different breeds. So I think my wife, Tracy, has redefined the term Great Dane to mean if it has 4 legs and a tail, it must be a Great Dane.
Do you, is it just you two that, keep an eye on all the dogs, or do you have people working for you?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's my wife, Tracy. She does it all by herself.
Wow.
I mean, I call her Wonder Woman because she's pretty amazing. Between that and the fact that she cares for the animals so lovingly, and it's like, in fact, I like to think of her like the Mother Teresa of dogs. She rescues dogs. She cares for them. She, just spends time and, goes to the vets all the time, with dogs that come in every god-awful condition. The good news is the ones that she's taken care of now that are eating our Gentle Giants dog food, dogs are so healthy, they only go to a vet every 3 years for a $10 rabies update.
Wow.
So, that's a pretty terrific thing if you own a dog that you're not spending thousands of dollars a year in vet bills because your dog is so healthy. But so we do this, and we have a great time. And yet, my goodness, I get calls from people. They want to get autographed photos. They want this. They want that. And, we've had a great time, and we're having a wonderful time.
Yeah. Do you guys sleep at all with all those dogs in the house?
Well, I have to get some sleep. My wife only sleeps 2 hours a night since she's 10 years old. I can't do that. That's another reason I call her Wonder Woman. And she actually spends 7 days a week, 20 hours a day, caring for dogs for the last 24 years.
Wow.
I mean, you talk about a commitment to loving animals, and people, they call, they write, they want to know about this and that for their dog, and again, this is all charity. And in fact, I will tell you one thing that's kind of interesting. More recently, I've gotten people that have said to me, "Well, my gosh, you've devoted your entire life to helping dogs live longer and healthier. Why don't you do something for people?" I said, "Wait a minute. Think of it this way. If your dog lives an extra 5 or 10 years longer because of the technology we developed with our Gentle Giants dog food, don't you think that affects your life? That means you get to have your dog for an extra 5 or 10 years longer and healthier." They say, "Oh, yeah, I never thought of it that way."
Yeah, you're right about that. So, what made you pursue acting?
Well, I grew up where I grew up in the Los Angeles area in a city called Beverly Hills. I grew up there, and I just, for whatever reason, I was a kid that kind of grew up by myself, and I knew other people, but I was kind of like a loner, and I loved comic books, but I didn't love Batman because I never even heard of Batman comic book. They didn't have it where I lived. They had Superboy and Superman. And, it's funny, even as a child at 3 years of age, my mother showed me that I had photos taken then where I had a little tricycle I was riding on, and I had a bath towel with a clothespin holding this cape around my neck, and I got to tell you something. I thought about that night and day, and somehow, you got to believe there's some connection between thoughts and things, that if you think about something long enough and hard enough, you can almost bring it to you. And I thought about this, and all the time. And, and then all of a sudden my father asked me to help him in real estate and selling houses. And I got a license when I was very young to do that. And I helped him sell a house to a producer. And I asked the producer if he would give me a chance to show him a scene, an acting scene. He said, sure. And I did this scene for him. He said, he said, I think you're very talented. Would you like to go meet an agent? And I said, oh yeah. He says, well, because you got to have an agent in this town if you want to work. So he sent me to an agent who said to me, first thing he said is, Burt, he said, let me tell you something. I can't get work for my actors that have already been signed here. And the only reason I'm taking you is because of this producer. And don't expect to work for a year. And if you do get a job, you'll be lucky to say one line. I mean, well, that's not very encouraging. So I said, yes, sir, yes. Anyway, a couple of weeks after meeting with that agent, I got a phone call from someone in his office who said, they have something going over at 20th Century Fox. Go over there tomorrow. We made an appointment for you about 4:30 in the afternoon. Go over and then, give them your name, and they'll let you park on their lot. And then you can go in and you can meet this casting director. And I said, okay. And I didn't even think to ask what it was for. So the next day, sure enough, went over to 20th Century Fox. They let me on the lot. And they said, oh, you got to go to this particular building and this particular bungalow, which I did. And I walked in, and I had to wait my turn, and I met this casting director, and he was very nice. He said, would you like to meet the executive producer? I said, sure. I mean, I figured, wow, this was so easy, just walking in and meeting this man, and here he is going to introduce me to the executive producer. I said, well, maybe everybody gets to meet the executive producer. Well, that's not exactly true, but I didn't know that. So I go in to meet the executive producer. His name was William Dozier, very, very respected man in the movie industry and television. And I looked him straight in the eye, and I said, hello, sir. And I shook his hand, and he was like taken aback that somebody could be so direct and, in a nice way, but aggressive, Yeah. And he said to me, he said, you're kind of big for this part. And I said, well, wait a minute, sir. I promise you, I will not grow anymore. And he laughed like, how could you promise somebody you're not going to grow anymore? He said, would you like to do a screen test? And I said, sure. I mean, I figured everybody got to do a screen test. Well, that wasn't true either, but I didn't know that. So in a couple of weeks, I went to do a screen test, again at 20th Century Fox, and I went onto the sound stage, and they said, oh, we have this gentleman that you're going to be doing the screen test with, and here's a script for you to read. And it was really just a couple of pages. And on the printed pages, the only thing it said was Bruce and Dick. Didn't say what it was about. Didn't have any last names. Didn't say anything about being a cartoon or anything, right? It just said Bruce and Dick, and it was some dialogue. And so they introduced me to this gentleman, and his name was Adam West. I said, well, should we, maybe run these lines? I'll say them or this and that. And we talked for about 5 minutes before we ran the lines, and in 5 minutes I got along, and I was laughing, and he was laughing. We just had a great time. We just clicked as two people. And then we got up, we did our lines, and I said, well, thank you very much. And he said, wait a minute, whoa, we're not done with you yet. So, oh, really? I said, yeah. They said, look, you got to go over to that that dressing room on the other end of the sound stage. See that way down there? I said, yeah. They said, we've got 2 wardrobe guys there. They're going to help you get dressed, and we want you to come out and in this costume, and we have some more dialogue for you. And I looked at him. I said, well, thank you for having 2 people there meeting me, but I'm perfectly capable of dressing myself. They said, oh, no. You don't understand. You don't understand. You just go on down there. You'll understand. So I go down to the dressing room, and sure enough, there's 2 men there waiting. They said, here, we've got, some stuff. And I looked on this kind of like a long couch, and there was a ton of stuff on there. And I said to one of them, I said, am I going to put some of this on? He said, no, you're going to put all of it on. Wow. I said, what? They dressed me in this costume, the most uncomfortable thing in my entire life. Nothing have I ever put on is so uncomfortable, so horrendous. I could barely walk. And all I can tell you was as I stepped outside that dressing room door, and believe me, was just even taking a step was hard to do. As I stepped outside that dressing room door, I turned around and I looked at one of the wardrobe men. I said, well, the good news is after this screen test, I'll never have to put this costume on again. Famous last word.
Yeah. 120 episodes later, right?
Exactly. I got this role. I didn't even know, but I still didn't even know what it was. I mean, I saw these costumes. I thought it maybe was a period piece.
And you were 19 years old at that time, right?
No, I was 20 going on 21.
Okay.
In fact, I had to go to court to have my contract approved because I was under formal legal age to sign a contract. And but I couldn't believe it. I went to make this show, and I had never shot anything. I had studied acting, though. I mean, I studied both professionally and at UCLA, where I was going to college. And but when I actually went and did the work, it was like nothing I ever thought. I thought, oh, wow, you're going to get up and all these cameras and all this fun. Well, you sit around for 45 minutes on a cold sound stage, most of the time by yourself, while these people are walking around in front of you, this and that, carrying this, carrying that. And then when they say, okay, it's time, you get up and you work for 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
30 seconds. Maybe if it's a big fight scene, 1 minute, because they do everything in pieces.
Yeah. Was it?
And then you wait another 45 minutes
Yeah.
to work 30 seconds.
So how long did it take to film like a 30-minute? The episodes were 30 minutes. How long did it take you to film those?
They were supposed to be shot every 3 days, but it worked out to be 5 days because there were so many effects, and that's another thing. The crew was, as I found out, a gigantic crew. It was like twice the normal size because there were so many explosions and contraptions and trying to get this to work and that to work. So what happened was, other than the fact that the director would say, well, you're supposed to be in the Batmobile when you say those lines, or you're supposed to be out here in front of the Bat computer, or, things like that, just basic stuff. Other than that, we basically could do whatever we wanted because everybody was so concerned with trying to make these special effects work.
Yeah.
So, the things that you saw that I did, for example, when I come up to the Batmobile and instead of opening the door to get in, I jump over the door to get in sometimes, or jump over the door to get out, or stand up on the door and walk along the fin to the back, which I didn't know at the time. The people who had built the Batmobile were having near heart attacks, thinking I was going to ruin their paint job,
Yeah.
But I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was just doing what I thought was right, and hitting my fist into my palm, all the kinds of stuff. And because Adam was so great and so amazing and fun to work with, right, that he was just we just had an instant chemistry. And he had this marvelous comedic sense. I mean, this man was a true comedian. He didn't, in today's world, you have these people, these stand-up comics get up and all they do is swear and people laugh. And, I don't think that's funny at all. Yeah. Whereas Adam West, his style, his delivery, that suggestive things that he said and did, I mean, people roared. And because he was so stoic and grand and, kind of thought of himself like Winston Churchill, right? In fact, he said to me one time, he said, Burt, he said, I really understand now what it's like to play Batman. I said, really, Adam? Why is that? He said, well, I watched Charlton Heston play Moses in the Ten Commandments, and I realize now what Batman really represents. I go, oh, my gosh, he believes this.
And he did it with a serious face?
No. Oh, absolutely. And he was serious. Yeah. You see, that's the thing that people say to me. Well, he's so stoic and grand and bigger than life and talks so slowly. What's he like in real person? And I tell people, he's exactly the same. There's no difference.
That's
but also he's very smart man. He realized that we were doing a 30-minute television show, right? And I said, well, we'd all realize that, except that he realized it in a much more sophisticated way, because he realized that the longer he is on that camera by talking very slowly, the more camera on him, the less on everybody else.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, horrendous. And then he would do this great thing where we're in a two-shot. That means where the camera is kind of got both of us in the picture, and we're supposed to do our lines. But in the middle of his lines, he would turn and walk right to the camera, right up to the lens, blocking me completely. Do you understand?
Oh, yeah.
Filling the lens with a close-up on his face. And the director would say, cut, Adam, you can't do that. This is a two-shot. The two of you are supposed to be in this shot. He said, yes, but I had to do this because it was the right moment and the energy and it was the right concept. And they said, no, okay, Adam, go back there and don't you move. He had every reason in the book why he had to do it. You understand?
Oh, yeah.
He had to do it. And they wouldn't let him get away with it, of course, because they can't have a show just about the close-up on his face for 30 minutes, which he would have loved, of course. Yeah. And but I loved Adam. I miss him terribly. What a wonderful, humorous man. The times we laughed and we had so much love and respect for each other. And he was a great mentor, And it was so funny because everything he did on the set, he could get away with anything. Everybody thought it was funny. Like, for example, if he's racing out of the Batmobile and accidentally banged the side of the Batcave or something, we'd have to stop and reshoot it. Oh, everybody laughed. One time I got in the car and just scraped against something. I got yelled at for a week. I mean, it was no justice on that show. Yeah. But I had a great time. And other than the explosions and the costume, all right, other than that, I had a fantastic time. I mean, who wouldn't want to ride in a Batmobile? Who wouldn't want to climb walls, fight heinous villains? And being a black belt in karate, I love the fight scene. Yeah. In fact, a piece of trivia for your listeners is that I knew Bruce Lee before he became Kato. He lived in the same complex that I lived in. And he and I used to spar together. And a piece of trivia for you is that Bruce Lee, who became the most famous martial artist in film ever, his very first fight scene on camera was fighting me.
Wow.
And that was on the Batman, one of the Batman episodes, because the executive producer of Batman was also the executive producer of the Green Hornet, which he played Kato and Van Williams played the Green Hornet. And that's how they introduced that series into prime time by having them appear on our show in one of the episodes.
The Man Cave Chronicles on Twitter at the MCC Podcast. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, Brian Padone here, founder of Quiet Punch. When I'm not listening to the Man Cave Chronicles, you can catch me filming one of my live workouts on quietpunch.com. Check it out today. That's quietpunch.com.
Hey, this is Keith Coogan, Brad, and Adventures of Babysitting, Kenny in downtown Mon, Babysitter's Dad, and you're listening to the Man Cave Chronicles podcast.
How was it fighting with them?
Well, it was great, except they didn't want to have it. You see, what we did on Batman, they didn't want anybody to look like they really hit somebody hard or really, drew blood or anything that was too realistic. You see these bad guys pick up a chair and crack it over Batman's head, and he might fall down, but he gets right up and keeps on fighting. I mean, it was bigger than life. It wasn't real violence. Mm. So the fight scene that I did with him, they actually toned it down. We were really going to go out and no, they didn't want that. No. They said, no, we don't want that. We wanted broad strokes, and we wanted the style of Batman, and we did that, Yeah.
While you were filming Batman, did you try to do other projects as well?
Yes, I wanted to. On my what they call a hiatus. That's a period when you finished filming for the season. You usually have a month or two, sometimes 3 months, where you have off before you go back into filming. And there was a young producer at 20th Century Fox. His name was Larry Turman. He came to me right after the first season ended in filming. He said, Burt, he says, I'm doing a very small little film here at 20th Century Fox. It's, no big deal. Not one of these big movies, very small, but I'd love to have you play the lead role. And I said, geez, I'd love to do that. And I thought because it was at the same studio, right? I mean, it wasn't like at a competing studio, that there wouldn't be a problem. And, there certainly wasn't a time conflict because I was off, and so I wanted to do this role, and the director wanted me, the producer wanted me, and I went to the studio and I said, I'd love to do this. They said, well, let us think about it, and they went to ABC Network, who said, wait a minute, this is the #1 show in the world. We don't want any dilution of him playing another role. You can't let him do this. So 20th Century Fox would not let me play the role. And, it was a little bit of a disappointment at the time. It turned out to be somewhat of a popular movie. It was called The Graduate. Maybe you heard about it.
Yeah, Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah. So they couldn't get me, so they got a guy named Dustin Hoffman.
Jeez.
Look what that did for his career.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Do you enjoy doing like the voiceovers now for the animated like Batman series?
Oh, sure. Listen. If you're an actor, you love doing all of it, and it's fun. It's great. I always loved working with Adam West, and working with William Shatner was a pleasure. Now, there's a very funny guy too. He has just got an amazing sense of humor, immensely talented. I had a great time, and so I like doing it. And I've done a number of great stuff, kind of Batman related. I did, the different shows that I've done, with the character. There was this DC Comics. The DC Comics came out with this TV series that they did, late night series, and called Robot Chicken. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
And this is the most recent one. And not only did I play Robin, but I played Burt Ward too. I mean, I had a dual role, playing myself and playing the character Robin.
Yeah.
And there's just been so many different things, other shows and stuff that I've done that take advantage of the character, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so I love doing that. And Warner Brothers is great to work with, and they finally put out our TV series. They did an amazing job. They went in and took our series and just made new prints and cleaned everything up and colorized it perfectly and fixed the sound. I mean, it was good to begin with, but they just made it like perfect theater.
Yeah.
Just wonderful stuff, and everybody loves the DVDs that are out there.
Yeah. What's it like going from like a live action role and turning your character to like an animated role?
Well, yeah, like I was on The Simpsons too. That was
Yeah.
Let me tell you, for me, because people say, well, gee, you just did these 2 movies for Warner Brothers. It's been so long since you did the series. Was it hard to get back in character? And I said, wait a minute. I never left. I mean, when I was hired to do Robin,
Yeah.
I was selected from 1,100 young actors, and that's pretty stiff competition, 1,100.
Yeah, it is.
And the executive producer, when he selected me, said, Burt, would you like to know why we selected you to play Robin? I said, sure. He said, well, because in our minds, forgetting television for a minute, if there really was a Robin, I mean for real, not TV series, not acting, if there really was a real Robin, we actually believe that you personally would be it. So we don't want you to, quote, act. We really just want you to be yourself and be enthusiastic. Well, obviously, you can tell I'm a little bit enthusiastic person, right? And so for me, it was very easy to do that. So when somebody said or to ask later on, well, now you're doing this movie, what's it like getting back into the role? Well, I really never left it because it was me.
Yeah. Are you a fan of like the Batman movies now, like the newer ones?
Well, I enjoy seeing them. They're fabulously made. Warner Brothers has done an absolute fantastic, thing. But when people ask me, like, well, who's my favorite Batman, I very politely say to them, well, in all these Batman movies, you've had wonderful, fabulous actors, but if you really think about it, there really is only one Batman, and that's my dear friend Adam West.
Yeah. And you also did 2 movies with Adam West for Batman, correct?
Oh yeah, we did. Well, we did our movie during the series, which was great, against 4 villains: Riddler, Joker, Penguin, and Catwoman. And then later on, we did a movie of the week, CBS Sunday Night Movie of the Week, that was Return to the Batcave: The Misadventures of Adam and Burt. That was fun. That was based on our books. Adam had a book, and I had a book out. And so, and then we've done these animated ones as well, and a couple of TV specials, and gosh, over 7,000 personal appearances in the course of 50 years. 7,000. I estimate that I've actually signed 8.5 million autographs in my career. Holy hand cramps.
Right. Do you enjoy doing the Comic-Cons and meeting fans?
I do. I do enjoy it, but what I'm not enjoying so much anymore is the physical travel. You get on a plane and you have to take 2 or 3 flights. Sometimes I'm 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 hours between airports and flights, and that gets a little tiring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But meeting the fans, I love to do it, and they seem to have a great time meeting me, and we joke around, and obviously I'm not a shy retiring person, so it's very easy to have great conversations. People, they have a million questions. Oh my gosh, a million questions, and they always have their paraphernalia, something they've saved. I mean, these people come up to me and they've got this lunchbox that looked like it'd been beaten up by dinosaurs, for all these years, but that's their favorite lunchbox, their Batman lunchbox, and they want me to sign that. And they're trading cards that are so bent you can't find one spot that's smooth enough to sign your name on it, so wrinkles. But these are their treasures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They're treasures, and of course everybody has their stories to tell me, how they were growing up and how maybe their brother got to play Batman, they played Robin, and how they watched it every week, twice a week on television.
Oh, yeah.
How their parents loved it, and now their kids are watching it in reruns. Everybody has a good time. It was a great, wonderful show. It brought a lot of happiness to people all over the world, and we had a lot of fun making it. And it really shows. I mean, sometimes these shows where people they can tell that the actors aren't really into it, or they're not getting along with each other. Adam and I had such a great time, and everybody that watches Batman, they can just instantly, after a minute or two, pick up on how much fun it was to make it, and how much fun it was that, for the characters and what we did with them and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Before we end this, do you have any future projects that are coming out that you want to talk about?
Well, I've got a bunch of things in the works, but I kind of prefer to, when I have it ready, then, I'll talk about it. But, I love what I'm doing, rescuing the dogs. I love the fact that charity has become such a big part of my life and my wife's life, that we have these dogs living up to 27 years, our Gentle Giants dog food in all the stores now across the country. And I just want to do great things. I mean, we're all on this planet such a short period of time. Why not try to make the best of it? Why not make every moment count?
Oh yeah, you gotta live in a positive world.
Exactly. And doing great things. And when you're inspired to do great things and you want to help people and stuff, other people, it's like contagious. They say, gee, that's so nice. Here, let me help too. Let me do this. Let me do my part. And everybody pitches in and with a whole idea to make a bigger, better world for all of us.
Yeah. Can you tell the listeners one more time how they can find you online?
Yes. Well, my wife and I have our website, which is GentleGiantsDogFood.com, and we have our Facebook page, Gentle Giants Dog Food and Products. And even though it's a lot about our dog food, it's also a lot about Batman. And I mean, there's so many events. I mean, for example, recently there was a fabulous Batman 66 exhibit that was just at the Hollywood Museum, and which is still there, and people can go see it. If you're out in the Hollywood area, you got to go to the Hollywood Museum. It's fantastic. It's got all the original costumes and the Batmobile, and I mean, it's got everything. It's just like the day I would work on the set. And then also, besides that, recently out in in Southern California, there's a very famous hot dog place called Pink's Hot Dog. It's
Okay.
kind of like the equivalent of Nathan's on the East Coast, but Pink's Hot Dogs is very famous, and they just dedicated a Burt Robin the Boy Wonder hot dog, Burt Ward Robin the Boy Wonder hot dog. So now I have my own hot dog, and it's kind of interesting. I figured, well, I'm rescuing dogs, and so now I've got my own hot dog,
Yeah.
But my wife and I are having a great time. We're doing great things, and we just love every day because every day is precious, and every day is a chance to make a better world for all of us and for our dogs too.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you personally for coming on to the podcast. I was telling my wife all week I couldn't wait to talk to you tonight. You brought the kid back out on me.
Well, go get your costume on,
There you go.
and let's go climb some walls, citizen.
Thank you.